Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. I feel like I was just here. It's because I was. I just finished recording episode 288. Took a little bit of a lunch break, and now here I am recording episode 289. Doing this ahead of time. Hi, Creeper out of the corner of my eye. Doing this ahead of time because it is Friday, August 30th. Although I'm recording this on Wednesday, August 28th. This episode is airing Friday, August 30th, and I will be across the country. Well, from my perspective, across the country in Seattle for PAX Prime. So I decided I would record this episode ahead of time. Episode 289. A little bit strange. I feel like I've already done all of this. And I hope I have leftover energy and endurance to do yet another 3-day episode of Far Lands or Bust here. Wolfie thinks so too. I don't have, obviously, since I just recorded the previous episode, I don't have an updated Child's Play charity donation number. In the last episode, we're at $42,974, so hopefully in the few days since that episode, we have raised more money for Child's Play charity. They get toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. A great cause. And we've been supporting them for many years. Over 2 years, I should say. That makes it sound like dozens. 2 years with Far Lands or Bust. And this season... Ooh, almost hit Wolfie. This season we're trying to raise... Whoa! One shot. Headshot. We're trying to raise $100,000, so keep giving at farlandsbust.com. Because I was unable to get an updated number, you want to check out where we're at right now, you can check that out at farlandsbust.com. Okay. I did not know axes. Oh, these pigs probably already hurt themselves on the cactuses. I was going to say, I didn't... Oh, sorry! Oh, God. Okay, axes are very dangerous. Holy crumbs. Okay. All right. God. All right, you're doing better. Whew. I didn't know axes could hurt animals that badly. Slice! Sorry, Wolfie. Sorry. But I was about to say, you can check the current total at farlandsbust.com on the homepage. The donation tracker widget is conveniently also the same place where you can click to donate something yourself and leave a comment with your donation as a question, and I can get to that in an episode of Far Lands or Bust here in the future. Indeed, future Far Lands Bust. A number I can update you on is just at the start of this episode, I checked the world save size of this world that is saved, and the Far Lands or Bust world just passed 9,000 megabytes. We're at 9,025 megabytes. Megabytes and megabytes. I don't know if that's technically 9 gigabytes. The pedantic folks out there will tell you what specifically 9 gigabytes is with math and numbers and such, but 9 gigs of a world save. Coming up on 10, because I can count. But that's pretty crazy, so that's something I can update you on. I don't believe, since this is future past Kurt talking, that I will be able to update you on anything that has happened in the last few days, because they have yet to have happened, because that is the way the progression of time works in our universe. And, it's getting me choked up. So I'm assuming I am at PAX, safe and sound. Oh, that had a morbid thought. Anyway, but no, we're probably enjoying, when this goes live, the Child's Play charity panel, which is Friday, today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, which will be 6 p.m. Central time. So yeah, about an hour from when this episode goes live, considering YouTube behaves in a way that it should in scheduling and publishing videos. I'll be at the Child's Play charity panel, so that's crazy. It's cool. I'm still a little bit disconnected from it here, sitting at home recording Far Lands or Bust. I've been doing laundry all day to get stuff ready, and I got the bag out, and I'm gonna pack Pack for packs. Oh, Wolfie's gonna spawn. There he is. All right. Pack for packs, and yeah. And I'll be there. And so will Good, so will Pause, so will Lorgon 111, so will Seth Bling, and a whole bunch of other people that I am excited to see. Like I mentioned in the last episode, the Kerbal Space Program developers are going to be there. No, let's keep going. I was going to stop to get those pigs because I'm out of food for Wolfie, but I've said that before, and then you never see a pig again for the rest of the episode, but should be good. Should be good. So let's, instead of talking about current events, because they're not so current anymore, let's talk about and answer some questions from donators. I got a whole list here. This one, as the music kicks in, from Chris. Do you have any side goals in life? Side goals sounds like a soccer term. Sorry, football. Any side goals in life? A side goal is something. Oh, he goes on to define what a side goal is. For those of you not quite sure, like myself, a side goal is something that is not a day-to-day task, like drinking a glass of water every day, but it isn't something big, like becoming a spaceman or astronaut, as they're commonly known. You are having some issues. I'm just going to punch this pig to death, is what's going to happen. Die, piggy! Receive my fists. My knuckles to your face. And now receive Wolfie. Whoa! A lunge attack. Did this guy drop anything? Yeah, alright. So at least we... excuse me, you're not hungry quite yet. We'll take care of that in a moment if you happen to stumble. Side goals. So not an everyday task, but not something big. I suppose, would a side goal include wanting to own a classic car at some point? That's kind of a side goal I've had for a while, but it doesn't... It is kind of dependent on a few things, like my current situation, being able to have a place to store said classic car, in addition to said daily driver, modern car. Also, finances, obviously, is a big deal with that. But that's kind of a side goal. I don't have a time limit, or I have to do this by this, or I'm not, forming the rest of my life around the ability to eventually achieve that goal, but it's kind of a side goal that I would like to at some point. It might be when I'm in my 50s or 60s, So who knows? I do not. That almost seems kind of like a big-ish goal, but not one like becoming an astronaut or career goals that could require a day-to-day dedication. Side goals. No, that might be the only one I could really off the top of my head think of. I mean, this thing, doing YouTube, was never a goal. It was never a mote of dust in my periphery or anything until it just kind of happened. So, I don't know, I've kind of pulled myself back from having any of the big goals, per se. At a certain point, maybe I wanted to be an awesome graphic designer or web designer or advertising art director or something like that. Or, yes, a pilot, fighter pilot, test pilot, astronaut, geologist sort of is a big goal, but I don't know. And sure, there are people who have those goals and they follow them through, and their lives are transformed by them, and they have a magical time in doing so, but I just feel like as much as I try to now have control of my life and make choices, I don't really... what's the word? I don't force those choices upon myself. Does that make any sense? It does not. This was a very simple question, and here I start going off into some metaphysical world peace-changing, life goal sort of thing. So side goals, maybe own a classic car. There we go, classic car. Maybe an old, whoa, almost fell off. 50s car, maybe a hot rod. That would be kind of cool. Something a little bit custom with a K. That would be cool. But again, I don't have any specific thing. I'm not like I have to own a 1955 Ford 2-door convertible, cherry red. I'm not very specific about anything. So, yeah, side goal. Woo! Answer the question. Thanks, Chris, for your question and your donation. And I'm going to sleep. And awakeness. Woofness? Sort of. Let me get you up to full. Hey. Whoop, that'll do. And let's continue on. We have another question, a little bit on topic, because I will be traveling at the time that this episode is up, or will have had traveled. I will be at my destination. Let's say that. B-Dog. 3513 asked, what is your favorite or worst road trip or travel experience? Minecon Paris was exhausting. I would say the worst part of that was the cab ride from the Paris airport to Disneyland, because we very well could have died. Yeah, I've told this story myself. B-double-O, Generic B, and Justra all got the same flights. So did Pause, but Pause split up from us and then went to Paris proper to go pick up Good, and Pause has a separate almost died story because he ended up in the same situation as us. We got taken. We got bamboozled. Whoa, dancing pigs. We got taken as the crazy tourists that we were. In that we got into a taxi that, upon closer inspection but too lateness, was not an official taxi from the airport to Disneyland, and it worked out. I was just happy we got there with all of our body parts intact, and of course it was more than it should have been, but regardless of that fact, I was certain that was the tragic end of Far Lands or Bust and KurtJMac and a good 10% of the Mind Crack community. But yeah, that was pretty terrible. But beyond that, not much other things terrible happened. I did go to the Dominican Republic once and stayed kind of in the resort area. I've done that a couple times. I've been to Mexico as well. I think I'm done with like resorts, those all-inclusive resort things. Maybe some people's ideas of good vacations or trips are to sit on the beach and sip their Mai Tais and go to the pool and have buffet breakfasts at the hotel and just stick at the resort hotel the entire time you're there. But I am done with such things. I got that out of the way. I could probably also include cruises in that equation, although I've never been on a proper cruise, so we'll just delete that option from the get-go, I guess. But at the Dominican Republic, because I am not just content to stick at the resort the entire time, there was an excursion. There are always excursions. One of them was to travel a pretty far ways away on the other side of the island, practically. Not Haiti, but the other side of the Dominican Republic, half of the island, to go see the humpback whales, because for the season they migrate, and that's where the warm waters, they reproduce, and they have babies and things, and that was one of the things. I'm like, well, I'm down here. When else am I ever going to be in a location where you can see humpback whales in the wild? So did that, but it was a good 3-hour drive, 2-3 hour drive, and in a bus-like situation. They're like the buses that they're not quite coach buses, and they're not as bad as school buses. They're the in-between ones that you see like a lot of retirement homes coach their chauffeur, their residents around to the mall and back, or different places. That kind of bus. But the roads in the Dominican Republic are not. They're pretty much. They seem to have been installed maybe 40 years ago and then left to crumble because those potholes, my God. And, had to leave at like 3 a.m. first of all, and 3 hours on like the worst possible roads. And, the guy driving is a local. He's gunning it, 70 miles an hour or whatever. And it's bam, pow. Absolutely. The worst. Getting there, it was terrible, but being freshly woken up, I endured. Getting to Samana Bay, that's the name. Samana Bay is where the humpback whales go. And getting there, get on a boat, like not a big boat, a speed-ish type boat. Again, kind of like the touristy ones where there's just rows of seats. The waters on Samana Bay are choppy, extremely high seas and choppy, and very vomit-inducing, and they gave us Dramamine as we boarded the ship, just like out of a plastic bag. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to take this. So I tried to endure, and the humpback whales weren't biting that day, but we saw a few. Saw a couple of them do the whole breaching thing and Free Willy sort of thing. That's a different kind of whale. But, that was cool. And we saw a few next to the boat and things. It was really cool. I mean, quite amazing. So I'm glad for that I did it. I could say, and I experienced that in the wild, etc., etc. Saw humpback whales. But the boat felt very, very sick on the boat. And halfway in, I'm like, okay, I'll take the Dramamine. So I didn't throw up. I did not get sick. The trick is when you're on like a boat this like seriously very high seas. And then it was also combined with the fact that the boat's engine being kind of a speedboat type of thing, you could feel the rumble of the engine in the seats. So it was just a constant, in your chest and in your stomach, just vibrating. And then if the wind shifted, you would smell the engine fuel and the exhaust, and it was just a combination of all those factors, and the salt water in your face and in your mouth, and just not a good physical experience there. But I didn't puke, and the trick, as I was about to say, is when you're bobbing up and down, look on the horizon. Like, look as far to the horizon as you can and just fix your eyes on the horizon. That kind of gives your equilibrium a little bit of a point of reference to say, okay, you're not actually upside down and backwards. There's, the reason you get sick is because your inner ear, your equilibrium, isn't equating the feelings that are also that you're getting from your eyes, that you're the visual cues as to your current orientation as to the center of gravity and the planet. So that's why you tend to get sick. And a lot of people, I'd say about a dozen people on the boat got sick. So that was no fun. But then the ride back, after all that and being completely knocked out and nauseous then from the Dramamine, the ride back, another 3-hour ride back on the bumpiest of roads. And I swear this truck, this little leisure van, whatever you could call it, wasn't a van, it was still a bus, but this leisure bus they probably long ago decided that shock absorbers are not a thing for these roads, so they just like welded them solid, and every single pothole and bump just into my back, and I've never in my life had such back pain from driving, from anything, and I felt as though I was going to have some spinal cord injuries just from. And I was just like writhing. I was trying to find a spot in my seat. I eventually just sort of stood up a bit and was just letting my legs my legs act as the shock absorbers. That was That was by far the worst. I mean, I've had things where I've missed planes, where I've been delayed in a plane. Recently, I got, for the first time, I've never been, I always hear the stories of people getting trapped on the tarmac for 8 hours in a plane. I got trapped on a tarmac, it was like 2.5 hours. We were first at the gate, sitting for like 45 minutes, and then we finally pulled away. Yeah, get excited, and we drive around for another 45 minutes, and then you park in some deserted part of the airport, and then they shut off the engines, and the captain comes on. Well, that's how they talk. And then you're there for another 2 hours. So that was, I've had stuff like that, but never have I been in so much physical discomfort and pain than that day of watching the humpback whales in the Dominican Republic at Samana Bay. So I would recommend, if you are going to the Dominican Republic to watch the humpback whales, perhaps you should stay within reasonable distance to the area as opposed to across the island, because that's the worst. So let's hope Seattle and PAX are going far better than this, future Kurt. I cross my fingers in those hopes, and in the morning we will continue answering more questions. And the humpback whalesness. Ow. Speaking of back pains. Oh, brother. Anyway, yeah. So that was BDog3513. Thank you very much for that question and donation. From Black Velcro, another question about travel. Have you been overseas before? Yes. PAX. Minecon, Paris. Been overseas before? I'm assuming you have. Never assume. I know plenty of people who have never been overseas. My dad, for instance, has never left the country. Have you been overseas before? Are there any places that you are eager to go and to see? I, as in Black Velcro, would recommend Japan. Lovely people there. I've had people say that Japan is nice. I've mentioned this many times before. It's been a little bit, but I don't like traveling as I say this, as I'm traveling specifically to Seattle to a convention. I don't like traveling for vacations, per se. I do not like traveling to, go to a city or to go to see man-made stuff like a lot of people want to travel to Europe. To travel, see the UK and then go to France and then Germany or Spain or something, and you see all the architecture, and there's Madrid and all other places. I don't know that many cities. I don't get that much of a kick out of that. I'm not huge into experiencing the cultures. This is probably a lot of my social introversion coming through. I don't get much out of, everybody's got to go be Anthony Bourdain and check out all the little hidden cultural food gems of this crazy Indonesian city or, whatever. I'm not much, that's not me. I'm not that guy. I am not that guy at all. I like to go places to kind of do natural things. Obviously I mentioned many times before, I like the Southwest quite a bit. New Mexico, I really enjoyed. I'd like to go back to New Mexico. Arizona, I've been three or four times. Maybe those other areas still have yet to go to Yellowstone is currently on fire, so hopefully that is resolved. But Yellowstone and the what's the other one? Yosemite. Oh no, Yellowstone is not on fire. It's Yosemite. That's in California. I get those two confused all the time because they start with Y's. Why? That's why. Yellowstone, Yosemite, places like that. Alaska is a place I'd really like to go to. And I suppose if we're getting really crazy, these are all places that I could see myself visiting. A very high probability in my current status. and you know, talk about side goals and things. I don't really have goals. Ooh, I have to visit this place before I die, or see this or that or the other. But in my current situation, I could very easily and feasibly see myself visiting places like Yellowstone, like Alaska, even though it's a little bit more of a bigger matzo ball, I guess. Hey, guy. Ooh, bye, guy. I'll careful if you don't glitch into the leaves. He seems to have more problems with leaves than anything else. So, I mean, those are places I could see myself going. Even, you know, I'd like, you know, Iceland seems like a nice place, but it is very Alaska-ish. You know, the up north mountain wilderness type of things. Careful, Wolfie. The one place that I would really like to go to, but is kind of one of those that I might never be able to, is Antarctica. I mean, that I like the places that don't feel like Earth. I really like the Grand Canyon. I really like White Sands, New Mexico. I feel like a different planet. I think Antarctica is probably, that's the lava. Lava is probably the most other planet type place you could possibly go. So Antarctica would be cool. And yeah, I mean, you can't, as far as I'm aware, really vacation in Antarctica. You know, especially in the regard of doing something there, more than just, I know there's some kind of cruises type expeditions. What's the word I'm looking for? Endeavors? No. I just said the word when talking about Samana Bay. Excursions! There are like excursions you can pay for to do stuff down there with organizations or companies and things, but Antarctica would be kind of a cool place I'd like to go. So yeah, that's the, I'm not a huge world traveler. I'm not, you know, some people just have to love, you know, they just travel. They backpack across Europe, or they, you know, live in Japan for a year to teach English, or, you know, something like that. People just love travel. I'm not really that big into that. I don't know. Maybe just me. Probably. I'm weird. So yeah, that was Black Velcro. Thank you very much. DWCS Gaming asked, where is one place, geographically or situationally, that you did not expect to be in life? Well, I think I just mentioned this thing, working at home, doing YouTube videos for a living, raising money for charity, traveling, technically traveling for work, air quotes, but traveling to a gaming convention, one of the biggest gaming conventions, PAX, meeting a whole bunch of people from around the world. I mean, you know, when you work, you really just kind of, I don't want to call it a normal job, because this is a normal job. This is a job. But you tend to, unless your job requires like a global interaction, at which case you're going to travel a lot. But you know, when you work, like say when I was working on my web design studio, all very local things, just dealing with people that you know, or who, oh yeah, I live here, and you know exactly where that is. But through this, getting to meet and work with and interact with people from all over the world, you know, we got, just look at the Mindcrack server alone, we've got people all over the United States, Canada, we got Doc in Germany, and Andersel in Sweden, I almost said Switzerland. You know, people all over the place. The KGBs, Gleason from Australia. It's just, you know, that's kind of something I never really expected. Being the kind of shy, introverted thing, I'm like, well, I'm really never going to choose to do something where I'm going to meet a whole bunch of people from around the world and stuff like that, or work with them, or befriend them, if you will. So that is definitely not a place I expected to find myself. If you asked me even 3 years ago, really. Wolfie agrees. Wolfie never expected, that was very majestic, never expected to see himself this far away from home. That was 250 some odd episodes ago I picked you up. Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. Let's go. So yeah, geographically, woof. I don't know. Like I said, I really haven't been anywhere that it would be so bizarre for a person like myself to find myself. I found myself. No, but anyway, I've been to Mexico and Chichen Itza and a few of the other Mayan ruins. I mean, that stuff is really cool. But a lot of people have been there. I mean, I don't know that I ever expected myself to find myself there. It was very cool to kind of play Tomb Raider for a little bit, or I guess Indiana Jones. Obviously, you're not climbing around and unearthing artifacts, but very cool. And now I've heard I was able to. One of the last years I was there was I was able to actually climb the main pyramid at Chichen Itza, El Capitan, or whatever it's called. But they've since, I've heard from other people who have gone, they've since closed down. You can't climb the pyramid anymore. They're worried about the wear and tear on it, and also it's a dangerous thing. It's extremely steep stairs. I'm surprised that more people didn't injure themselves every year climbing and or falling down those stairs. That pyramid, they had a rope going up the middle so you could guide yourself. So yeah, a little bit lucky about that, but yeah, not really geographically. If I end up in Antarctica, I'll certainly answer that question differently. Or I don't know, in space, in orbit, on the moon, on the surface of Mars. Mars One people, give me a call. Ring-a-dingy. Not after saying ring-a-dingy, they're not. I'm sorry. Astronauts do not say ring-a-dingy. All right, so how about it? Record an episode 2 days ahead of time. I am going to find a nice hidey hole here. Oh, here's a nice face. In your face. In your cliff face. Careful, Wolfie. Careful, Wolfie. Careful, Wolfie. Oh, let's actually use a shovel like civilized primates that we are. Wolfie, why don't you come up here? Good job. Yep, why don't you have a seat? Oh, now I'm gonna... oh, damn. No, I don't want you to go in there. I want you to come out. There we go. There we go. There, nice job. Guard the door, and we're gonna dig in here, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of Far Lands or Bust. I certainly did. I think it turned out well for someone who just... less than... Hi. Hi. How are you? Oh, no, don't push Wolfie away, you jerk. All right, stuff is going to start spawning. Let's give Wolfie a few lights. There we go. Keep those pigs out of the way, Wolfie. Anyway, like I was saying, I think this one went well for someone who just recorded a previous episode, not less than an hour ago or so. So I do appreciate you following along and enjoying, and I do hope you are enjoying my little secret, not so secret anymore, I'm sure, little Let's Play that I played for PAX weekend while I'm away. If you missed it, I'm playing Surgeon Simulator 2013. The quintessential. Every Let's Player in the world has to play that game. Well, not really, it's not a rule, but I didn't expect to, but I had a lot of fun recording that, so check out the continuing episodes throughout the weekend, and then when I return, we will have more Far Lands or Busts. I'm going to miss Monday, because I'll be away, but... oh, I do not want to sleep in a boat. But coming next Wednesday is the next Far Lands or Bust. We're for that, and I'm sure a few more episodes. I'll have a lot to talk about PAX, if I met you at PAX, or am... well... no, I'm still at PAX. It's still Friday. I don't know if I've met you or not yet. So yeah, thank you very much. I do appreciate it. FarlandsOrBust.com. Donate to Child's Play Charity. The button and tracker and widget are right there on the homepage for you to check out. Support Child's Play Charity. I'm looking forward to meeting those people at PAX and seeing their panel and whatnot. So, until I return, enjoy Surgeon Simulator 2013. My name is Kurt. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time.